Hello everyone, it's Catherine or Mrs. Cronall, and I am here today with part one of a metallics dupes for autumn video. It is Liquored and Lacquered, of course. I have my Liquored ready. It's a gin with a Coke Zero, and everything that's on my nails I will link in the description box down below, or at least list, I should say, in the description box down below. I have 16 polishes for you today, and 5 of them are golds that I'm going to compare to one another. So let's get started on the golds. This all started because I bought 2 golds recently. We have them here. This is Getting Groovy by Essie. There you go. And then this is a molten metal from Barium, and it is Bronze Bay. So we're going to let's start with Bronze Bay. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to finally look at all of my metallics. So let's have a look at this on the first coat, I should say. These are kind of shimmery metallics, so they're not a foil effect. They are very, very shimmery. So as you can see, I managed to grab a little piece of dark glitter in there from somewhere, but there you go, very, very shimmery. So that's the Barium one. I will come back with second coats on everything. So I'm calling this a dupes, but it's actually more of an investigation of whether we actually have dupes or not. So I can already see that this is a much paler gold. The Essence gold is much paler. Let's see if we can adjust this light a little bit. There you go. So there's a touch more red off of the Barium. So, but they're both kind of similar in their shimmeriness, if that makes any sense. Then this one, which I think is actually very, very close to Getting Groovy. In fact, I reckon these are going to be dupes. This is Zoya, and this is called Ziv. And I know Ziv is a favorite gold for a lot of people. So let's see Ziv beside, see Ziv beside Essie. Now I think Ziv has slightly larger gold particles, as you can see there. If you look at the background there against the white, I think it is slightly gold particles, slightly larger gold particles. But let me just try switching off that light. Aha, that's better. Daylight bulb gives you a much better idea. So the Getting Groovy looks smoother, and Ziv just looks a little bit larger. The particles in there are a little bit larger. Then we have another gold here, and this is OPI, and this is Glitzerland from the Switzerland collection. I think that's what it's called. Very similar here to these two. The very same color, gold for sure. But let's see if the shimmer is the same. And I'm kind of thinking it's going to be finer in this one. It's definitely a much smoother formula. So yeah, it is much finer in Glitzerland. Although the Essie one seems to still give a smoother effect as it dries down. But these are all very, very close. I think the Barium is just slightly bronzer, so it's not that pale gold. So, and then finally, we have one that needs a little bit of a shake-up. This is Seate, and it's called Sand Dune. And again, I think this looks a little bit closer to the OPI. So let's have a look at Sand Dune. I love wearing gold polish. I especially love wearing gold polish as an accent nail. There is very little in this and the OPI. I would say the OPI is probably I'd say these two are dupes for one another, for sure. What do you guys think? I'll do a second coat and come back, but I think the Glitzerland and Sand Dune are very, very similar to Getting Groovy, for sure. So that is all of the gold. So we are going to move on to let's move on to a completely different colour, because I'm getting sick of looking at gold. Maybe you are too. This came out in the Essence Out of Space Stories collection this year. It was one of my favourites from that collection. This is Across the Universe, and it is a multi-chrome polish that shifts from a teal to a pink and then to a silver. And this came out in the Catrice collection. I haven't even swatched this yet, and it has a very similar effect to it. The gold, or the green in here, looks slightly more gold, so I'm going to swatch them side by side to see if we have a dupe. Now the Essence one builds up nicely in 3 coats, I believe, 2 to 3 coats. So you can put it over black, but I've actually worn it both ways, and yeah, it builds up really nicely on its own. So I'm not going to put it over black for this video, because I want to see how close it is to this Catrice one. The Catrice one, by the way, is called Beetlejuice. Ooh, I better not say that 3 times. Okay, I like the new caps on the Catrice polish. Okay, this looks very mirrory, if that makes any sense. So let's have a look at it here. They're very close. These guys are dupes, I think. I am not seeing a noticeable difference here at all. What do you guys think? They're very, very good. They're very, very close. I should have made my brush strokes a little more even with the Catrice one, but I'll rectify that on the second or third coat. So that's Beetlejuice and Across the Universe. So I think we've got a dupe on our hands here, guys. And they even look very similar in the bottle, but I will know for sure when I do my second and third coats. Another one from the Out of Space Stories collection was this one. This is Space Glam. So this is Space Glam, and it is a purpled base with loads and loads of colour shifting gold glitter. Kind of goes from a gold to a green hue. And this is Dancing Queen. It came out last year, I believe, from Avala. Similar kind of idea. This has a kind of a pink and purple base with gold shimmer in there. I think the Mavala one has a lot more gold in it, but yeah, we're going to see what these are like. I like these colours for autumn because they kind of remind me of fireworks and things like that. So this is really, really pretty polish. I love the colour of this base. I just like this combination, actually, the gold, the purple. It's really, really sparkly and just very, very pretty. And then Space Glam. Let's have a look at this one. Space Glam. So if you can't get Mavala, or if you can't get this Essence Out of Space Stories, I think they look pretty close. There might be a little bit more gold in, yeah, there's a bit more gold in the Mavala, but when I build them up on a second coat, you'll see that they're very, very similar. Definitely in colour, they're very similar. The Out of Space Stories might be a tiny little bit pinker. All right, so we also have some darker colours. I have the Barium. Somebody told me what it's called, and now I can't remember. It's gone completely out of my head. There's no name on my one. It's just 715, but somebody told me that this is called, oh, I can't remember. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. But yeah, so this is a black base with lots and lots of silver shimmer. And this too has a darkened base, but loads and loads of shimmer. I think they're going to be very different, really, but I decided to swatch them anyway, since a lot of people can only get Essence and not the Barium, or vice versa. So here we go. This is a really, really lovely metallic from Essence. I think it was one of my favourites from that range, if not my favourite. Really, really sparkly black, and it builds up beautifully on 2 coats. It's going to be a lot of shimmer on my hands when I'm finished this video. And then we have the Barium, which I think is going to be, yeah, it's going to be way more black in the base. But we'll see how they compare when they're built up. So yeah, the Barium has definitely got a much more black base. That Essence one, I forgot to tell you what it was called. That is called, where is the name on this thing? Oh, you're not going to be able to read it. It's called Rebel at Heart, and I'll put that up on screen for you. And then, finally, for this video, I have a couple more golds. We have a Barium, a H&M, and another Mavala. So this is Barium is Gold Rush, and it's a very yellowy gold, and it has this nice little red flash in it. So we are going to compare it to the other 2 yellowy golds with a red flash in my collection. So I think these are great for autumn, these colours, because they remind me of the leaves on trees, especially around November time when they're really, really golden with like little kind of red patches in them. So that's the first coat. If you don't like gold, this really isn't the video for you. Then we have this beautiful polish called Precious from H&M. I'm guessing it's inspired by the ring from Lord of the Rings. So this one seems to have a bit more of a green shift in it as well, although there is that tiny little shift in the Barium, if you can see it, but it's definitely stronger in this Essence, or in this H&M one. So there they are side by side for now. There's definitely a stronger kind of green shift in that H&M. And then we have Celebration by Mavala. So let's have a look at this one. And I'm going to do it here. The Mavala one is more foil-like. The other 2 are way more shimmery. I think the Mavala one is much more metallic. So yeah, I think they're definitely all different, but I'll do a second and third coat and come back to you. So I will be back in a jiffy. Okay guys and girls, so I am back with third coats on everything except one polish that only needed 2 coats. So let's start here without dinking anything. We have this beautiful gold, and this is one of the Barium Molten Metals. And to be honest, it's very, very different to the other 4 golds. So in fact, when I was swatching, I was thinking maybe it should have belonged with this one, but it's not as yellow gold as the 3 over here. So there is a little bit too much red shimmer in this to count it as a dupe. But the one that got me started on the comparison, Getting Groovy by Essie, it builds up beautifully to a much more foil-like effect, I think. And this is very like après chic. And I think Getting Groovy is very close to this OPI Glitzerland over here. The one between them is the Zoya polish, and it's Ziv, and the particles in it are just too big to be considered a dupe for the others. However, as I was saying, I think OPI's Glitzerland is very, very close to Getting Groovy. Getting Groovy is slightly, ever so slightly bigger. Their shimmers are not as finely milled as OPI's ones in Glitzerland. But then, even more finely milled is this one from Seate. This is Sand Dune, and I think the three of them are very, very close in base colour. But I think the biggest difference is the size of the shimmers in actually all four of these. So get it from big to less so, and then to tiny, tiny, tiny microscopic ones. So that is our pale gold. Then here, I think these are very, very close indeed. You can see the shift there. You can definitely see the grey and pink, but you might not be able to pick up on the green in it. This pinker version, and I do think the Essence one is pinker, is Across the Universe, and that's it in 3 coats. And then I compared that with Catrice's Beetlejuice, which is just ever so slightly grayer. There's a little bit more pink, I think you can tell, in the Essence one, but they're very, very close. So if you can only get one of them, you know, it depends on which one you can get. But if you've been trying to get the Out of Space Stories collection and can't get Catrice, I think Catrice is more widely available in the US. So yeah, there might be hope for you. Or if you couldn't get Catrice and you can only get the Essence one, there you go. They're very, very close. And then another very, very close dupe from the Essence range. That first one there is Space Glam, and the one beside that, with, I would say, a tiny, tiny little bit more gold in it, is Dancing Queen. So they're very close. In fact, I just don't think there's anything in it, really. What do you guys think? I think the Mavala one might have slightly more gold, but yeah, I think they're very, very close. And then beside that, these don't really have dupes. They're not really dupes for one another. This is way more of a grey base. This is Rebel at Heart from the Essence, the old Essence Metals Trends collection. And beside that, I have this black molten metal from Barium, and there's just way more glitter, silver glitters or silver shimmers in the Essence one, and this Barium one is way more black in the base. And then finally we had the gold polishes with the nice red and green shifts in them. The Barium, the green shift isn't really that obvious, to be fair. It is much more about the gold with the red in it. And as you can see, none of them are dupes for one another. They're all slightly different. So that was the Barium. Beside that, I just think this is probably my favourite polish from the 3. It is easier to build up. It's Precious from H&M, and in the shade, this looks copper on your nails. So it's a bit of a, if I tip it towards the shade, you can see how copper that gets. So it's a bit of a magic polish. That's Precious. And then finally, the sheerest of the bunch, and the one that I managed to dink as well, is Celebration by Mavala. And yeah, it's a very pretty polish, but I just think I would recommend the Precious from H&M over those 2. So guys and girls, that is it. There are all of my Autumn Dupes Part 1, metallic shimmery dupes for autumn. So I will be back next week with more of a copper and red toned theme for metallic shimmery dupes for autumn. So I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye bye.